Hey everyone, how's it going? Today we're going to talk about the hundreds names list in network marketing. Is this your friend? Is this your foe? And it really came from a coaching call that we were doing where someone said, should I have my new people start with a 100 names list? It's really overwhelming. And this is an honest question that comes up all the time when we talk about recruiting and launching network marketing business builders. Now, for those of you that don't know that terminology, the hundreds names list is an assignment typically given by a network marketing upline to their new business builders to start making a list of people to contact for the business. Top earners swear by it, struggling recruiters loathe it. So, what is the best way? I thought about giving you my opinion just straight out on this, but see, that would just be inviting you to adopt someone else's best way. And I think it is more important or more helpful or more encouraging not to tell you what to think about the 100 names list, but to walk through how to think about the hundreds name list. See, tactic or strategy, it's usually not good or bad. The world doesn't operate in black and white. It operates in this messy gray. So it's not, is the 100 names list good or bad? Is sampling good or bad? Is leading with the business first or the product first? Which one is good or bad? This type of binary thinking really is harmful to us as humans because it's just not. We want the world to work this way because then we don't have to think. But the world doesn't work this way, and we do have to think. But probably, because we live in the world we live in, we were never really walked through a process of how to think about things. If we think about all of the paradigms we've had in life, our parents have been like, this is good or this is bad. Your teachers, this is good, this is bad. Our bosses, right? And so I don't think that many people developed really strong frameworks for evaluating strategies or tactics. And so what I want to do is I want to give you a framework, and then I'm going to walk through the answers to those questions. You will, by the end, get my opinion on the matter. Don't worry. But I want to start with something that is really, really useful for you. So here are some questions to ask when you're thinking about a tactic or a strategy. Specifically, what we're talking about today is a 100 names list. Number one, what is the purpose of the strategy or tactic? And part of that is what result am I focusing them on? Number two, in order to get that result, what are the things that they need to do? Number three, what are the top reasons they would not do the action, and how can I handle this in advance? Number four, if they can't or don't do the action I recommend, what's my next move? And then number five, how can I communicate through any obstacles that might come up? So do you see how it's not about the yes or the no? Now, here are my thoughts on the answers to those questions, specifically when it comes to the hundreds names list. So first, the purpose of the tactic. The purpose of the 100 names list is for the new builder to have a long list of people to invite to their launch events. Now, the result I am focusing them on is for them to get their first 3 customers or business builders signed up ASAP, like in the next 2 weeks. Number 2, in order to get the result of the 3 business builders or customers, they need to invite 10 to 12 people to their first event. Number 3, what are the top reasons they wouldn't do the action? The top reasons they wouldn't invite 10 to 12 people is they never end up making lists of 10 to 12 people. So if you look at the 100 names list and they feel overwhelmed, they don't have good relationships with that many people, or they might feel pressure to be that guy from high school who reaches out to 100 people, right? That might feel spammy to them. They haven't talked to in years. That might be a really good reason why they would never launch. So number 4, if they can't or don't do a 100 names list, what's my next move? Well, if they don't do 100 names, couldn't they make a list of 15 and still complete their launch event and get their first little bit of success and then add to their names list? I think so. So what I can do Number 5, how can I communicate through this? What I can do is I can say, our focus is going to be your next event. We want to have your top 5 people there at least. So most people will make a list of 15 people to invite. That way, if they can't all come, it's no big deal. Now, if you want to get off to a really fast start and feel like you have a pretty big network that you want to share with, I recommend seeing if you can get to 100. So you have a list that you can use for a while as you get started. It's up to you. Would you prefer to make a small list or a large list? The communication here really matters. It's not about the list. It's not about, do you do 100 names list or do you not do 100 names list? Because I can say, the next thing you need to do is 100 names list. Call me tomorrow when it's done. It's not great communication. It's kind of pushy. It is guidance, but probably isn't going to get great results. Or I can say, our focus is going to be your first event. We want to have your top 5 people there at least. Most people will make a list of 15 people to invite. That way, if they can't all come, it's fine. If you want to get off to a really fast start and feel like you have a pretty big network that you want to share with, I recommend seeing if you can come up with 100. That way you have a list to use for a while. As you get started, it's up to you. Would you prefer to make a small list or a big list as you get started? Now, the people that would have been overwhelmed by the big list, they have an option to do the small list. And the people that are your real go-getters with big networks, they're going to shoot for the big list. So by including 2 options instead of 1 option, you end up including more people. What we don't want to do is just say, well, 100 names is overwhelming for a lot of people, so I'm just not going to do it, because it's not overwhelming to the well-networked people that really want to get off to a fast start. You don't want to adopt a strategy that nurtures the people who are more nervous and excludes or handicaps the people who are not nervous. What we want to do is we want to have options for nervous people and options for not nervous people. 2 options is going to help you with your success. So we communicate through that. So regardless what action we're having people take in the business, whether it's with products, whether it's with 100 names list, whether it's anything else, the best tip I can give you is to have 2 options for them to choose from. If you have 2 options for them to choose from, then you're going to include a lot more people. It's more empowering for the person you're talking to. And so to recap, when you are looking at a strategy, any strategy that you're looking at, and this one that we're talking about today is 100 names list, I really want to encourage you to ask these questions. What's the purpose of the strategy and tactic, and what result am I focusing on? Number 2, in order to get that result, what are the things that they need to do? Number 3, what are the top reasons they might not do the action, and how can I handle this in advance? Number 4, if they can't or don't do the action I recommend, what is the next move? And number 5, how can I communicate through any obstacles that might come up? If we start to learn how to think about strategies and tactics, we'll make much better decisions in our business. I hope this was helpful for you. And I hope that it empowers you to be confident in your recruiting and confident in your launching, and that your team members do much better as a result. Have a great day.